So just wanted to do a quick demo today to show some of the new LZX modules that have just been released, specifically the ramps module, the triple video processor, and the voltage bridge. And these are lower priced modules that offer a lower priced entry point into video synthesis. You still will need, as always, a color video encoder and a video sync generator. Next to that you see the ramps module. This is a prototype. The final production version has better artwork, obviously. The triple video processor, again, same deal. And the voltage bridge. And the voltage bridge, all that does is it converts signals from the 0 to 1 volt standard that LZX uses, and the generally 0 to 5 volt range that typical Euro audio modules use. And as you can see, this patch doesn't use that much. So for this patch, I'm just using those modules I just mentioned, in addition to some common eurorack stuff you might have around already. I'm using the Sport modulator as a dual LFO. I'm using a mod to mix, suit and tie guy VCA, and dope for sequential switch, which you can see hiding in there. So this patch is fairly simple. Pretty much all of my video sources are coming from the ramps module. Ramps is a fixed frequency video oscillator, or several fixed frequency video oscillators. And taking 4 of these signals into a sequential switch. And I'm using one channel of the Sport modulator, this one, to quickly switch between those. If I slow it down, see what's going on here. So it's just switching between 4 separate ramps. Those 4 ramps are then going into suit and tie guy VCA, and they're being controlled by, so we've got our signal in, which is coming straight from our sequential switch. We've got the control in, which is coming from another ramp. That other ramp, I should mention, is going into the voltage bridge. The VCA will not open because it's expecting a higher signal. It will not open from a standard 0 to 1 volt signal from the LZX system, so we need to bump it up a little bit to get it to open. So you can see the effect of switching between those 4 different ramps. If we take the LFO and we get up into audio rates, we start to get scrolling modulation, which is typical of video synthesis. Any audio oscillator or higher rate LFO will be able to produce this kind of effect inside of a video system. So that gives us these sort of funny trapezoids and pyramids. The other thing that's going on in this patch is I again have a ramp going into my mod to mix. And the second input on my mod to mix is coming from another LFO via the Sport modulator. This is creating those green shapes in the background. As I adjust the strength, you can see it goes from just being a pure ramp to, again, a modulated ramp using audio rate modulation from the Sport modulator. Slow this down and get different effects. These outputs from the mod to mix and the VCA are then put into the triple video processor. This allows me to take those different signals and sum them in different ways, so I can get some different interactions between the shapes. We can invert them, etc. We can also use the controls directly on the color video encoder to get some different color schemes happening. If you wanted very fine control over the RGB mix of these signals, you would want to add either a video blending matrix to a system like this, or even just another triple video processor. You could send out the RGB signals and modulate them pretty much in exactly the same way that I am here on the color video encoder. But then you could get LFOs involved, envelopes, or other modulation sources. So with the release of these new modules, there's now a sort of quicker and cheaper entry point into getting some interesting results from video synthesis using modules you may already have. One of the great things about working primarily with ramps as your oscillator is that ramps, even the fastest video oscillation coming out of there is around 15 kilohertz. And what that means is basically any audio Euro module is going to be able to process it cleanly. So other modules that are fun are, things like a VCA matrix, filters, wave shapers, and wave folders, and modulation sources that you already have, such as a sport modulator. Any LFO, any envelope will work beautifully inside of the system. So hopefully that gives you some idea. And I'm going to also include here at the end a couple other patches using just these same modules to show you some of the other possibilities that you may have. Thanks.